Put Jesus on the front, pray before you go. All right, let's give it the beans. Oh yeah, Suzuki GSX S1000 GT. Oh, for a muse of fire. Alright, this bike looks angry. Looks like it asked for Lucky Charms and instead it got a bowl of Fiber One. You got twin dual piston Brembos on the front, plenty of stopping power with ABS. It is a 6-speed chain drive. The difference between this one and the GX, which is the taller one, you can watch that review on TG MotoRider. The difference between them is basically you get 5 traction controls on the GT Plus. On the GX, you get 7. That spot right there on the GX model is actually your electronic suspension and your suspension settings. So you do have different ride modes on this. Traction control 5, that'll basically be like your rain mode. The GX is $4,000 more, sits a little higher, has a little better suspension, is a little softer ride, more of an upright riding position. You do also gain 2 additional traction controls and electronic suspension control. On this one, you will have to adjust it manually. I loved my GSX S1000, ZX14, and my K1200. Let's see how this thing stacks up. A lot of similarities between this and the GX. Wheelbase, both 57 inches. Now we're going to take it on the highway, see what she does. See if the turn signals are self-canceling here. They are not self-canceling. So you got no self-canceling turn signals. So I'm going to use the quick shifter to get on the highway and take it up to speed. All right, let's give it the beans. Oh yeah, no time flat. The steering, even at higher speeds, reminds me of my ZX14 or my K1200. It's more planted. You have to put a little more into the counter steer, and that's what I like. I don't like super light steering in the front when you have this much torque. It feels like something can break loose on you and go wrong very quickly. My GSX S1000F always felt that way. This does not feel that way, and I think that's a testament to the 57-inch wheelbase and having that big fat 190 on the back. A horse, my kingdom for a sanguine horse. This feels very short of itself. It doesn't feel like it's as apt to be blown all over the place. And it's a reasonably windy day. Yeah, this thing is a dangerous bike in the fact that A, it's a wheelie popper, no doubt, and B, you don't really realize how fast you're going. It's the same long stroke K5 motor they put in the GSX S1000. It does not have the variable valve timing of the Gixxer. Basically, they took all the horsepower the motor could give and scrunched it down to the low to mid power range. So it makes a very good sport tourer. Yeah, the brakes are bitey and good. Get them scarred a little bit here. You do have anti-lock brakes on this thing. First gear easily gets you over 50 miles an hour, and the mid to low range pull is just absolutely amazing on this bike. And I know I said I'd use the quick shifter, but I ended up using the clutch anyways. I'm in such a habit of doing it. Here, I'll use the quick shifter. You ready? There, 4th. There, 3rd. The quick shifter is fun. I mean, it does make shifting faster, of course. Coming in at 500 pounds wet, it manages the weight very, very easily. But even though it's a lighter bike, it still does not get blown around on the highway. It's a very windy day today, and this bike's not moving. SCEM, Suzuki Composite Electrochemical Material, plates the cylinders in the upper crankcase to reduce friction and improve durability. This bike has effortless pull even in 5th and 6th gear. Matter of fact, in 6th gear, I was tacking at 5,500 RPMs at 75 miles an hour. I had a long way to go. And when I hammered it in 6th, it just went without any hesitation or trouble whatsoever. The 5-gallon tank and Suzuki claiming 46 miles per gallon, your fuel range should be over 200 miles. The way you're going to ride this thing, I would call it maybe 180. This is not some elongated, mindless crotch rocket. There's a lot of thought that went into this bike, and you can tell when you ride it. It is an amazing sport tourer. Even the mirrors, very functional, very good. All the details are there. The wind management is there. And when you get the GT Plus, it comes with a touring windscreen and hard saddlebags, all for about 14 grand. And yeah, 14 grand brand new, but 150 horses, 80 foot-pounds of torque. And it looks like it crawled right out of the pit. It's awesome. And there's absolutely no delay in using the cruise control. Light tap of the clutch or brake and the cruise control disengages perfectly. You know, this is a really comfortable bike, even though I'm on a grand tourer, I'm on a sport tourer, but I'm actually very, very comfortable. All right, let's get off of here and get back on the other side. Engine braking is good. Engine braking is very good. You know, one could easily fall in love with this beast. So the K1200 BMW and the ZX14, those were all remarkable bikes. You know what sets this apart a little bit? I feel like there's no dramatics. I feel like I'm going fast, but there's no real drama about any of it. It's sort of like, yeah, you're going fast, so what? To increase efficiency and help cool down the motor, they've put venting holes in between the cylinders. In addition to liquid cooling, it has an oil cooler. The same oil cooler they put on some of the Gixxer models. Even though the throttle feels torquey and good in the low to mid range, it doesn't feel like it ever loses its composure. It feels like no matter what you do, I love this setup. I really love this setup. You know what's weird is I didn't think I was going to like this bike. You know, there's a lot going on here, actually. Suzuki did a really, really good job with this. Quick shifting, yay! Oh yeah, love the quick shifter. All right, the quick shifter is amazing. Not gonna lie, I could definitely get used to that. You get more stability in a straight line with a longer wheelbase, and that fat tire on the back just adds to the stability factor on this bike. As far as I'm concerned, having that 190 on the back, that was a brilliant choice by Suzuki. So everything this thing brings to the table is daily comfort, but sport bike monster speed. You know, that's really awesome. Every time I test ride a bike with that K5 motor, I'm just so impressed with the low to mid-range torque on it. No, it's not Gixxer fast, but you know what? It puts the horsepower where you need it, and that low to mid-range, and that's where you're going to use it, especially if you got a tour pack on and you're going across the country. You're going to want to be reasonably comfortable. You're not going to want to be slumped over the tank like Quasimodo. You know, 5 hours like that, and you're the Hunchback of Notre Dame. You're going to hate your life. So that's why bikes like this are just amazing to me. I always love the way you get both. You get sport bike performance with touring comfort. I'm TG MotoRider. Been a stuntman for 30 years. I'm a daily rider. I ride every day, even in the winter, as long as there's not a sheet of ice on everything. So thanks for subscribing. I appreciate that. This channel's growing like a weed, nationally and internationally. So I want to thank you very much for subscribing. Yeah, we're going to take this thing up here in a parking lot and slow maneuver it. Man, it's like you're getting everything. Some bikes just give you everything. This is one of them. It gives you reasonable comfort. And no, it's not Barca Lounger, Harley Davidson Ultra Glide comfort, but it's reasonable comfort. And it's giving you sport bike ability and Suzuki dependability. I mean, it's just monster good. Like, I've got nothing bad. There are two things I would do. For this bike. Change the headlights, they look silly. The bike just looks pointlessly angry at people. I like angry, but this one looks like it's pouting. Look into my eyes. Someone just yelled at the Transformer Bumblebee and used harsh language, and he crosses his arms and makes his face look sad. That's what the headlights look like. And self-canceling turn signals, you know? It's a real cheap feature, guys. It's such a cheap feature to put on, but wow, when you're a daily rider, you just learn to appreciate self-canceling turn signals. I know it's a little thing, but it's a big thing to me, okay? All right. Let's slow maneuver this thing. You know, suspension is really kind of soft, to be honest. I could preset that. Oh, yeah. 57-inch wheelbase, look at me. I could do this all day. God, this thing's great. So, 14 grand. Should you get one? Yes. It's not just great, it's oh for a muse of fire great. If you loved your GSX S1000 or your Gixxer, but you want to be a little more comfortable and you want a little more fuel range, boom. I think they answered your prayer. I love this bike. I absolutely adore this bike. I don't know how I'm not making this bike number 19 for me, because I really love this bike, and it's going to take an enormous amount of restraint to not buy this bike today. That's what I think of it. Yes, you have to set the suspension yourself. Yes, you only get 5 traction controls. How many traction controls do you really need? I'll tell you what, for what they're giving you for 14 grand, this thing's just absolutely amazing. I'm a fan. I really am. 150 horses, 80 foot-pounds of torque. Can't beat it. And that's my review of the Suzuki GSX S1000 GT Plus. TG MotoRider, signing off.